Hey there YouTube, this is SGM4306 back with another 3D printed project. This time I created what I am naming the Datassette. Clearly this looks like a little VCR tape or like a cassette tape. I bought this, I think it's pronounced Jeyi, Jeyi. It's a 2242 M.2 SSD enclosure. And the cool one about this, they sell other ones that are similar size, but they have a female port. This one has a male port on it. So this can plug straight into a tablet or phone. And this is really useful. But because it has that port exposed the entire time, I was worried. I was ferrying this back and forth to work to just transfer files between my laptop and my phone and whatnot. And I was worried this connector could get damaged because it's completely exposed and the only thing holding it on are the solder pads inside. So it could get damaged, so I wanted to make some sort of case for it. And I wanted the case to be not that much larger than it. And another requirement was this can get pretty toasty when you're transferring a very large amount of data. And so I wanted to keep as much of the top and bottom exposed so that it can at least get some convective cooling. So I wanted it to be not fully enclosed in plastic, basically. And this is what I came up with. It's a two-part design. It has a main body and then a lid. As you can see, I printed many revisions on each of the two parts because I made a lot of silly mistakes, but it's a learning experience, and I'm getting better at doing SolidWorks and kind of more... this is really the first thing I've ever designed that has a moving part on it, and it mechanically has to assemble together and fit and still be able to freely rotate. First design that I did, basically it just uses a little ball socket and it snaps onto holes. Originally I forgot to I just had just the hole, and so it would snap on. However, you couldn't rotate it. And it took a lot of force to snap on, so much so that I snapped off an ear. So this design obviously has to be curved on the top to allow it to swing up, and that's exactly what I did. This one I did not put a little relief channel so that you can snap it in easier, and I learned that very quickly that if you do that, it makes it so much easier to snap on and off because this ball part can just ride in that groove and then it just clicks as soon as it seats properly. And that worked fantastic. And then also aesthetically, I noticed if I just insert this looks okay, but it looks weird because it has these ears that stick out and it goes thinner. So I decided just to make this the equal thickness so that when it snaps on, they're flat. And aesthetically, this looks so much better, and this really does start to look like a tiny mini cassette tape. For the other side, at first, I did realize I had to have some clearance so that this top part wouldn't scrape against the side of the SSD, but I did not leave enough clearance. So maybe 3 prints on, I realized I had to put a radius arc, like a semicircle, so that when it swings up and down, it completely clears everything, the edge of the SSD. And so that's why I had to fix that. And since then, I was just basically tweaking the size of the USB cutout. Because I'm printing without supports, it does droop a little bit, so I have to leave enough clearance and enough clearance on either side of the port so that when it opens and closes, that there's enough of a gap it doesn't press the connector at all. And I wanted to leave enough clearance, so it took me a couple tries for that. Some of these are smaller, some of these are larger. I don't remember exactly which order I printed some of these in. And yeah, that's basically most part it. This first one that I really got that was working really well is just friction fit kind of, and the lid is free to kind of flop. Here, because there's nothing inside, there's no pressure, the ears can bend pretty easily. So this one, it's very loose, but with the SSD in, it's a little bit tighter. It'll stay in a position if you put it, but oftentimes when I went to pick it up, I accidentally opened the lid, and that wasn't going to do. So I added little detents inside, and I'll take this one apart in a second. These are like hot swappable. You can open these and take out the SSD and whatnot. So it is pretty easy to just swap things out. Also, if you just want to switch the internal SSD, all you have to do is take out this one screw, and then you don't have to take the case off to change the internal M.2, which is a neat kind of half B chance feature. But yeah, to open this and close this, you just need to kind of pull on one of the ears. The fingers are kind of, everything's like a super tight fit. I think I only put 0.1 millimeter clearance between all the parts. So it does slightly flex these out ever so slightly, but that provides enough tension for the ball detent snap thingy to work. And you can see I did print this in PLA, so it is starting to wear. So I might have to go back and print this in a tougher material if I want like long-term snappiness on the different parts. But yeah, you can see here on this side, I have 2 holes. There's one down here and one at like a 90-degree angle point. And then I have the main ball that it rides on for the hinge, and that's much taller. These little holes correspond to this little divot here, so that when it's in either position, either fully down or fully up, it snaps into one of the holes. And obviously the main divot has to be larger so that even if these arms splay slightly when you're snapping between positions, it maintains that axis and it stays in there. And that's basically it. To disassemble, if you want to take the SSD out, you have to just pull the ear just slightly because there are little fingers to catch here. And you can do that on both sides and just slide it out. The design of this SSD is such that there are little grooves on either side, and I modeled this exactly as it is. And then I did a negative cutout of this piece so that you can see those corresponding grooves are in the plastic here. And these printed without supports amazingly. I'm really happy with that. And the tolerance is perfect. So it's a little bit of a tight fit and you kind of have to give it a wiggle. But yeah, to insert it, you just sort of get it sort of lined up. One side will usually click in and the other side you have to kind of wiggle. And yeah, you have to make sure it's lined up vertically, kind of give everything a wiggle and make sure that these ears are flat. And to re-click the connector back on, the open side has to be, to the right here. You just get one ear on, and then you get it lined up, the other ear with that little ball socket, and then it just snaps on. And it has a really satisfying click to it. I don't know long-term with PLA how long that mechanism is going to last because PLA plastically deforms after like a while. So the tightness in the ears here are eventually they're just going to give way and it'll get looser and looser. Also, PLA, it sands pretty well, like decently well, which means the friction from rubbing it open and closed here on the hinge and those little detents are eventually going to wear away. For now, it works, and each of these parts is like less than 4 grams of filament, so it's like less than 8 grams total. So I could always print another one of these off. One thing is when you print these, you're going to have to print a brim, because the features are actually pretty thin and small, and I found that some of the prints, some early prints. Do I have an example here? Yeah, like this one, you could see it started lifting, and so this isn't straight, actually. So yeah, it is advisable to use a brim. I used top surface ironing because it gives a really nice, smooth finish, and this feels great, like holding in the hand. And I have options for printing, whether you want to put a lanyard hole. I have a no lanyard hole, a side lanyard hole, and then I have a top lanyard hole too. Both of these are side lanyard holes because I kind of aesthetically like that better. And you can put the holes on either the body or the lid. I did the lid first, and then I thought that was kind of a bit weird. There's more space in the lid. That's why I thought that'd be a better place to put a lanyard hole. But it sort of makes more sense to put it on the body and so that it's just down here out of the way. And one very last consideration I kind of overlooked. There is an indicator LED, and it flashes, I think, blue when it's like connecting, and once it mounts, I think it turns green, and then it flashes green when it's transferring data. And so that obviously gets covered by this cap. I kind of didn't think this through. I probably should have put like a cutout here so you could still see the indicator. My fix, until I get around to thinking, I might try to put like a little light guide or something, figure out later. But for now, the fix is to print the lid in a translucent color or a white, because light will still shine through. And so here, my phone, even with a case, because nothing comes out past this part of the body, nothing covers it, everything's flush, so this fits perfectly with cases. And this fits right in, and it will mount, and you can see the green light from the indicator through because the white plastic is slightly translucent. So that worked out pretty well, so I can still see the indicator there. Yeah, overall it works. You can still see the indicator. It's good enough for now. I'll figure out something for the that light in the future. But for now, this works exactly as I wanted to. It protects the cap, the cover. It looks really cute. It looks like a little tiny cassette tape. This reminds me, actually, this is almost the perfect size too for a DAT tape. And yeah, you could work and do different two-tone colors. You can print everything in the same color if you want. And yeah, this is absolutely perfect. I have another few of these cases on the way because I want to make more tiny little SSDs. I have a bunch of 1 terabyte M.2s in the 2242 size. So I'm going to just make a bunch of these and color code them. And you can also probably embed text pretty easily into the side. So if you want to label them, or even on the lid here, with what the SSD contains, you could totally do that. So I've uploaded all the files of like all the different variants to my Maker World account. So you can print them out, you can modify them. Yeah, all I ask is like you don't like go or turn around and like sell these as a product or anything. But yeah, you're allowed to download them, modify them. You can tweak them to put, different text labels and whatnot. It's pretty easy to do that in the Bamboo Studio software. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick video. This made this SSD way more useful and kind of more rugged to me, I think. And it should be possible to print at least this body part in TPU to make it like rubberized and like shock resistant. But the lid, I don't think you can because of it has to be stiff. You might be able to print like a corner kind of thing, like if you could do a multi-part print like just this front half so that if you drop it, it'll be shock resistant. But the actual frame of it that goes around the connector, they have to be, these little side ears that go around here, they have to be pretty stiff. So I don't think TPU is going to work for that. But yeah, this is really cool, easy to open. It's actually pretty fidgety. It has like a really nice snap to it. So yeah, a tiny little SSD and like super fast too. Like if you guys are interested, the SSDs I just got off AliExpress. They're also on eBay. Just search USB-C Jeyi 2242 SSD. They have a bunch of different variants. Some of them have the female connector on the side, but these very obviously have the male connector on the front here. And these are made to just plug straight into a phone or tablet or a laptop. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm learning a lot about CAD and workflows and whatnot, and I'm loving it because this is something that I absolutely will use every single day. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.